somebodies, we are the Nobodies. What are we doing here today?
Today we are interviewing the great Mr. Q Unique and FIELDY from the band Stillwell. How are you guys doing today?
Rocking and rolling, man.
Rocking the house. Yeah, to rock the house right now with you
there
guys.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Thank you for joining us. This means the world to us. I just got to say right off the bat, FIELDY, I've seen you live 15 times. I saw you at the Apollo, and I've seen you at Tampa Bay in the amphitheater from all up and down the East Coast. So thank you for being a major part in my life.
You went to the Apollo?
Yes, I was at the Apollo show. That was an amazing show. I actually got kicked out by the security guard. I went down the flight of stairs. I had bruises all up and down my rear end. And I actually made it back in, and I went from the top row to literally looking at you 5 rows back. So it was a blessing in disguise.
That's great.
Let me ask you. Did you? Why did you get kicked out? What'd you do?
He was shaking.
I was shaking the railing. The security guard was, he was just I don't know what you would say.
He loved his job.
He loved his job. Yes.
You rubbed his stump?
No, you have to be on stage for that.
No, not at the Apollo. No, I did not.
You try to get on the stage and rub and get kicked out? All right.
We had such a good time. And Mr. Unique, what do we call you? Q? Unique?
Q? Nah, Q is fine.
Okay, perfect. And I've been following you for 7 years in the band Stillwell, so thank you also.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is one of the bands I'm shocked to say I've heard about before actually even starting this channel, which is huge to me. So,
that's dope.
You guys are awesome. Mm-hmm. So, all right, let's start. So, when was Stillwell born, and how did the idea of this band come about?
We started in We started in 2006. I was introduced to FIELDY by a mutual friend of ours. His name is
Bobby Root. Tribal.
He owns a company called Tribal Gear, and he thought it would be a good idea at that time for us to collaborate on a song. So I flew out here, and you gotta bear in mind at that time I was really deep in the hip hop culture, basically born and raised, like I was in the rock, I was in the Zulu Nation. Like my whole bloodline is like all of the guys that created hip hop were the guys that raised me. So I was so deep into what I was doing in New York that KORN, I knew who they were. And my group at the time, the Arsonists, had done shows with them unknowing who they were. Like, we didn't know who they were personally. But it didn't really register. It was more like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. I didn't really care. So when I flew out here, we wrote our first song the same day, which is "Killing Myself to Live," the first song and the first video we ever did.
It's out.
Yeah, he actually
15.
That's 15. We did it 16 years ago now, something like that. In 2006, they were at the tail end of doing their "See You on the Other Side" tour with Family Values. And that's where we shot the video as well.
Yeah, on stage. It was last minute. I'm like, I told my band, I'm like, hey, I'm going to bring a friend of mine, Q, up here, and we're going to shoot a music video. Just act like you don't see him. And if you watch the video where he's running around the end of the show, and you could tell that half of the KORN people didn't even really know what's going on. You see people kind of scared. You see our security. They're like,
David Silvera's in the video. That's how far back it goes. Yeah. So it's like,
still we were doing stuff back then. It's like people kind of think we're new.
It's not.
We go pretty deep.
Yeah.
But some of our history, I like to skip right now.
There's the awkward phase, but yeah, we'll get into that.
It's all right. I definitely saw that video. I saw you running around. It was pretty awesome. Yeah. So you started as a guitarist in this band when you weren't a bassist, correct?
Yeah, but I started as a guitarist. Period. Before any band, I was a guitar player first.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh, I thought you started.
I went all the way to reading music, to learning and reading classical music, and then I ended up flipping over because Brian, at the time, Brian Welch was like, just going into high school. And he was like, I have a band, but I need a bass player. And I'm like, I'll play bass. And that's how that happened. I was like, I just wanted to be in a band. So I just started playing bass. And I'm always been a guitar player, but now I'm a full on bass player. I'm not a guitar player. When I go back in my history of my first poster on my wall was Gene Simmons, bass player, back from being a kid. So it's like I've always
And Nikki Sixx is one of
Nikki
your favorites
Sixx.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, all Steve Harris are like to getting older. It starts going to. It's always been bass players to Stanley Clarke to starts going different to Flea.
Marcus Miller.
You start getting introduced to this. I always had a half and half. I think that's why my style is because I've liked those other bands to Marcus Miller to Flea to Victor Wooten to Mono Neon to Stanley Clarke to back and forth. Like I like both.
Wow.
So I'm kind of that's where that comes from.
So are you guys entirely self-taught, or did you guys either end up going to school at some point?
I'm self-taught. We the only time I went to any sort of training was as the singing progressed, as the singing responsibilities progressed, and I started singing in other bands. Ray Luzier and Catfish had suggested that I get more serious with what I was doing because they got a sense that I was really focused on singing. So I ended up going and training with a teacher named Jen Smolos out in the Opera Building on 30th Street in Manhattan. So, imagine me rolling up to the Opera Building, everybody singing perfectly, and I went there to get coached. But aside from that, everything we do, including Love, we're all self-taught. His dad was an incredible musician. My mom is a singer-songwriter, guitar player. Love's dad is a drummer. So we all had the influence around us as kids, and then we just picked up, from that and developed our own way of doing things.
Well, so when did you pick up the guitar? If you were singing, now you're playing the guitar. So
about 5-6 years ago.
That's it. So
that's it.
Who taught you?
It was tidbits of people just giving me. It starts with this one's funny. It started with my son. My son is actually he plays multiple instruments. So he plays guitar, bass, drums, saxophone. I had him in music early. Like his first piano recital, he was 5 years old. So obviously he got really good at playing, and he was the first person that I was picking ideas from. And then I had a band called King's Bounty with a New York hardcore guy, Mike DeJean, who was in Crown of Thorns. Mm-hmm. And he gave me a lot of tips and pointers. And then, I would grab Monkey would give me scales, and he was starting to show me like just different, techniques of how to hold certain chords, box, the things you were teaching me with the scales and being in the box. And so I just, as psycho as I am, I'm one of those psycho guys that if you give me a task, I'll do it till I bleed. Like I'll just keep on practicing, keep on doing it until I get at least a comfortable place of playing. So that's how I was for the entire 5 years, like psycho about it. Like even to this day, like if I find myself tired, I'll still pick up the guitar and at least get 30 minutes and just play whatever, just to know that my hand is still training.
Mm-hmm. Very nice.
The hardest thing we have to do are these interviews because I'm around no music this whole time.
Yeah.
I listen to music or make music all day long. So this part of our job is really hard. We have to like kind of empty our. No, I'm being honest. Because before this, we had music in the kitchen.
Music bumping.
And then we're like, let's eat real quick so we go down and work on that song. So we kind of like live and breathe music like a lot more than people think.
At this stage of Stillwell, we are surrounded by more music than we've ever been from the beginning. From the beginning, we were kind of like channeling specific. And now the palette is so broad. Like he mentioned, like, We'll do a night where we're watching Mono Neon, and then we'll listen to Dirty Loops and all of these bands that nobody really knows, but they're big. They're like big artists, and they're so avant-garde at times that we're just sitting there as students learning these weird things. They're not metal, they're not rock. They're just these high-level musicians, and we're just sitting there like two students or three of us, and just like absorbing like this high level of playing, which we know, like me personally, I know I'm not trying to be a shredder that way, but it's still like an education. Like you'll sit there and you're listening to the like Thundercat the other day, listening to the bass player Thundercat, and he was giving like this whole tutorial about bass playing. We were just sitting there like zoning out, watching him, like
we're giving you a tutorial right now. Just sit and listen. Question us with a 3-minute tutorial. That's what you're gonna get. So you ready?
Listen, not for nothing, but we have had musicians, play for our page. So if you feel like picking up a guitar or bass at any time, we'll be fine with that. So Fieldy, got a question. When did you start learning the slap bass? Because you are super talented with that.
There you go.
There.
Appreciate it. I'm saying, it started when I heard Flea for the first time. That changed my life because I turned on the TV, not hearing him, because if I would have heard it, it's cool, it's great. But visually, when the way he was like jumping around and just slamming on the bass, I'm like, I got to do that. Like I want to so I just went into this, because I already kind of liked heavy music and punk rock and all that kind of vibe. I was never really like a real like metalhead, like more like the Chili Pepper stuff, like a punk rock funk, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of got me into that kind of music. And then it went from there, a snowball down to every style of bass player that's like that, from Flea to then Stanley Clark next,
Les Claypool,
all the ones where and I to this day now, even the newer bands, I mainly like my favorite bands are 3-piece. I don't know why. I'm just some reason my brain just listens to most of my bands I like are 3-piece bands.
Wow.
I'm in a 3-piece band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always love 3-piece bands. I don't know, something about it. There's like a core to it. It's just stripped down like real. You can, I don't know.
Not a lot of people getting in the way. Yeah.
Yeah. All the 3-piece bands, I love them.
So
Primus, 3-piece.
So is that feeling you have for like 3-piece bands and the meta music you listen to, is that what led to the style of Stillwell, like the alternative metal scene, or?
I don't consider us metal at all. I think that it started with his mission statement. When we first started writing, he had a moment where he was like, we have to make sure that this doesn't sound like KORN or anything from this planet, because it was like a thing of integrity. He wanted to make sure he wasn't taking from something and bringing it somewhere else. So we knew we had to start from scratch. Now, my rock background is I'm more rooted in grunge and alternative. So those type of inspirations might slightly come from me, but it's also because he already, as we started, he was like, it cannot be what I already do. That doesn't make it. First, it doesn't make any sense. Secondly, it's just a question of integrity, of just doing things with respect. I'm not going to do what I do at one job and bring it to the other job. It's not cool. And then it just spun off into this alternative thing. But also the other thing to take into consideration is you're looking at two very odd musicians. So everything we're going to do is going to sound alternative because we just have a very awkward approach to writing music. The only thing I could say about our music that isn't awkward, that I can say with confidence now today, especially with the last two albums, we write very catchy music. So it has a pop feel to it because we know that we want people to be hooked in by the chorus. And that's like a focus of ours, something that kind of like learned from Dave Grohl about writing bumper sticker music and then running with that idea. So the last, from Supernatural Miracle to the new album now, that
new album is Rock the House.
Rock the House. That's our mentality about writing music. Make sure it's hooky, like the Beatles would do. Like,
what else you guys got?
Go ahead.
So we're not gonna be able to get these questions in.
No. We love to.
I got to kind of. That's what I'm here for, to keep the questions rolling a little bit.
No.
Okay.
Well, okay. You talked about Rock the House. I noticed for 2022, each song kind of had two versions to it. What was the reason for that?
Okay, here we go. 10 minutes. Go.
All right. So with this one, we're doing waterfalling. So I discovered that watching other groups, releasing a song at a time is the way to do it now. The album format is slowly dying, unfortunately. It is what it is. Spotify has changed the game. So what we decided to do was release a song a month and make sure that there was content with it. And then I don't know who had the idea, but we doubled our efforts by saying we're going to personally remix each song we put out to have 2 songs a month, but it'll be the same song, just the remix would be a different genre. So we started like throwing darts at the wall to see what genre we're going to do. So far we covered reggae, punk rock, metal, our twist and turn of these things. And that was it. It was just to have content at the end of the day. We needed content, and we knew we wasn't going to release a whole album right away. So in order to fulfill that content thing, we decided to remix. It's something I don't think any band has ever done ever in the history of music, to remix every one of their single songs.
Yeah, I've noticed that. So I noticed in the beginning when FIELDY was playing the guitar that you had a bassist. So when did you decide to say, okay, no more bassist, I'm going to play the bass and we're going to become a three-piece? When did that happen?
When I realized I was a bass player.
Respect.
Yeah.
Respect.
It was, yeah.
That's it.
It was
Embracing I'm a bass player when I started going through what I really like, what I listen to most. I'm a bass player. Like, yeah, I just am. I started as a guitar player, so I thought in my head I'm a guitar player, but I'm a stereotype bass player. Everything about bass players, their personalities. Every bass player I met is pretty much like me.
Yeah.
We're all quirky, odd dudes, man. Like, we are. If I met Mono Neon, we like click just like that.
So it wasn't hard releasing the guy? It wasn't hard at all? Like,
he actually retired from the business.
Oh,
so
he did.
It was something that he wasn't technically part of the business in that sense. He didn't grow up like we did in the business. And when things kind of took a turn for him personally, he needed to, handle his life. And we're still friends today. He still comes around every once in a while. We hang out. Sometimes we'll jam. So yeah, Pablo's a good dude.
All right, awesome. So tell us the inspirations behind your music. I know you guys have this, nice life, I guess you would say. You have a lot of
everything has had a very emotional theme behind it.
Yeah,
Whether that,
great messaging.
We got the life.
Well, we decided that we wanted to make music that made people feel good. We wanted to make feel good music, no matter what the message was, whether it was something deep like "Come to Jesus," or something as simple as, I don't know, street metal. We just knew that when you're surrounded by a lot of bands, you tend to look at what's the main theme here. And it felt like the majority of it was kind of more on the darker tip, which is fine. I've written a lot of dark music in my time. So has he. We have nothing against it. We just knew that for our band, we needed to change the narrative and step to the side and kind of looking at what the Foo Fighters and Chili Peppers were doing, making feel good music instead and joining in that parade. It was a pretty simple decision. We wanted to feel good and make people feel good with our music.
You do a great job doing it because, like I said, every song that we listen to, we sing it out loud in our car. That's for sure.
Awesome, man. Thank you. Thanks.
We really do.
I do know after we reacted to Everything Will Be Better, that was a song I actually put on every once in a while.
Yeah.
It helps. It helps.
Made the playlist.
It made the playlist, exactly.
That's a good jam.
Thank you.
That one.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that one. What is it? Jesus.
Come to Jesus.
Come to Jesus. That's an amazing jam.
Thank you.
That one's off a Supernatural Miracle.
Yes.
Album.
Thank you.
What is one thing somebody said to you in your life that you've taken with you throughout your music career or through your music?
For me, as a closed mouth, don't get fed. I don't remember. I know it was a street dude that I was hanging out with. I don't remember who it was. We were hanging in a cipher, and we were just talking about business stuff. And he just said, "A closed mouth don't get fed." And what it meant was speak up for yourself at the right times to get where you got to get. Because sometimes you could, especially in this industry, sometimes you're almost programmed or beaten to remain quiet and just take what's handed to you. And sometimes you won't. A lot of the bands we know feels like they won't question what the motives or the moves are. Sometimes they just go with the flow, and it doesn't always work out. And sometimes things fall apart. And had they opened their mouth and questioned or really stood firm on their suggestions, they probably wouldn't end up in these awkward situations. So for me, it was that phrase really stood with me to this day. It's like I always feel like I have to speak up when I see things going, especially going south. It's like, all right, hold up.
Mm-hmm. Somebody told me the squeaky wheel don't get the oil. That was
opposite.
Yeah.
I've been backstage my whole life with a bunch of rockers and just musicians. You know, you hear everything. And through all my years, talking to Nikki Sixx, to Les Claypool, to all these every legend you could just name them, I talked to them. I don't care who, anyone. The one person that told me I'm gonna go see him about an hour from here. We're going to my friend's house. Actually, it's kind of his house, but I don't want to say where.
Right.
But he said, he goes, "Hey Holmes, it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll." And that's me, Mr. Cartoon said that. Coming from a tattoo artist, Mr. Cartoon, everybody knows who he is. You know, so it's like, you want to start something new? I don't care what you do.
It takes time.
If you want to be a tattoo artist, if you want to be a movie star, you want to start a new band, you know, it's like. And then another friend, there's an SA friend of mine, he said the same thing. It was OG Abel. He said the same thing, but he said it differently. He said, "Hey Holmes, anyone could be an overnight success in 20 years.
It takes time. All of it. Even what you guys are doing. If you guys keep on going at it and putting the time into it, it'll develop into something. Everything takes
20,
time.
like 20 years from now, if you guys keep doing this, you're going to be bigger and better.
Yeah.
No matter what. If you guys stay consistent, you're going to be bigger and better.
But you have to stick with it.
Be patient, and like, I promise you one thing, I can promise that if you guys consistently do this, you will get bigger and better. Like, you'll get a green screen that will cover the whole background. You won't have to crop it later. You know, you start getting. I'll tell you what, you'll get a green screen like ours. You know, we get four walls, a floor.
Yeah,
there's a room in our house that I like. One of the walls I want to paint green, but they won't let me.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
Let's walk them over.
I know the feeling.
Let's walk them over. Come check this room out. You got to see it.
All right, we're going to show you the green screen room. Take a little tour.
Oh, let's go.
It's right here. It's right here. Might as well just walk over and show you.
Sure.
So I know one of the questions you have, so I'll answer it right now. Where do we film a lot of our videos? And that'll be here in Fieldy's house. So we have this massive green screen.
That's sexy. Dad, I want one.
You see these walls? They move like this. You can open them.
What?
That's sick.
The floor is green. See, the floor is green.
Look at this. How massive. Look at
See how massive it is? Him standing next to
Yo, you know this just became a short on YouTube, right?
some of the equipment.
That's how. Look at how high it goes.
Yeah, you gotta
go this way.
Oh yeah.
So it goes really high, but this when the pandemic happened, we made the investment into the green screen walls that you saw, and so Supernatural Miracle was full of a lot of green, even though we weren't really good at it as far as editing at that time, because we subscribe to the punk rock mentality of do it yourself. So Stillwell is very punk rock in that sense, where we shoot our own videos, we edit our own videos, we pack our own merch, we mail our own merch. He designs the merch. We now we're at the point where we write and produce our own music. We're mixing our own tracks at this point. So we're very self-sufficient, and the green screen was definitely a part of that mission of knowing that we just have to do it ourselves. That I think that's, labels are dying, and if you really love this, you got to do it. That's the job.
Nothing like rubbing it in, huh? Thanks, Fieldy.
Hey, Sharon. You want to see our shipping and handling area? No.
Yes.
Let's go, please.
We can't.
When you order something from Stillwell, you want to see what it looks like down there? It's like a set design room.
Yeah, it's nice.
Wow.
It's downstairs though.
Yeah.
It's in a whole nother room.
So
what
Fieldy?
We're like in a compound, but it goes like 4 levels. Like there's basically 4 stories of sets and rooms that we do stuff out of.
We've been able to film a lot of videos here.
Good
a lot. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. I love that. Okay, so you know what? Speaking of all the merch,
yeah, brag about yourselves. Yes.
Yeah, talk about it. What do you guys got planned?
So we have this new album. It's called Rock the House. And we've been, like I said, we've been waterfalling it, which means a song a month with a remix. But the album is available when people order the merch. So when you go to stillwellrock.com, whatever bundle you order, whether it's the CD bundle, the herb grinder bundle, the T-shirt, the skateboard, whatever. We got a second series of action figures coming out. He's going to show you some of the stuff. That's where he wants to go. So this is the album.
That's the album right there. That we pack this with stickers. We have like, I think 12, 13
different stickers and
different like Stillwell stickers that you can get. We pack them
whenever you get a pack, you get the stickers, you get the guitar picks, which technically are bass picks. You want to show them the
homie right there.
That's awesome.
And then you get the box. This is the best for me. I like this, the box.
So when you get your CD,
because the size
comes in that box, like a whole presentation.
But that's a nice box. You can keep your Skittles in there. or when you're making Italian food, you can keep your herbs in there too.
Right. Or if you're like me, you can keep your herb in there. So
herb up.
That's like taking a page out of the Kiss playbook. You know, especially him, he's more of like the merch thinker. He has that Gene Simmons thing.
I'm you know what? Everything's marketing to me.
Yeah.
More than even merch. I'm just a marketing dude. Everything is marketing. That's my brain just thinks all the time. Like
that's Gene Simmons, yeah.
If you guys got a pre-order link or any website, it'll be in the description below for the people at home.
Yes, stillwellrock.com. Right now, if you order it, you get the album, the CD right away with your packaging. For the rest of the year, we'll be releasing each song once a month. And then by the end of the year, the album will be available on Spotify. But right now, we're going one song at a time, keeping people's attention, keeping them in the room. Because if, like any band, if you put an album out, it's forgotten within 2 or 3 weeks. It's just where everybody's attention span is.
There's 100,000 songs a day uploaded.
Yeah,
100,000 a day.
That's the number right now. 100,000 a day. You know, we want to say something real quick. We were just talking about it off camera. I think it's beautiful that a father and son are doing this. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
We're both close with our sons too.
Yeah, so it's beautiful to see, and do your best to keep on keeping this train on the tracks, even if it's once a week or whatever your schedule is. But it's beautiful to see, man. It's really cool.
Thank you. You know what? We've been going all in since like 2022 early. Friggin', cool. We're proud of what we've created.
You know, I work close to 6 to 7 days a week, sometimes 12-hour days, and I wanted to give him 15 minutes. You know what? And I was like, he loves YouTube. How could I get involved with his life? And here we are. So
that's awesome.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Cool. You've been flashing a Rhino. So what? How does he play in Stillwell? I should know, but I don't.
So the Rhino is I'm paying homage to my cousin Peter. He was the first guy in my life to introduce me to heavy music. When I was a little kid, he would tell me to come to his room. He would play Led Zeppelin records, Black Sabbath. And as a little kid, I didn't fully understand what I was listening to, but it left such an impression. It was like, I never heard anything like, because in my house, my dad would just play the Beatles and the Stones and, whatever else he was into. So when my cousin played me Black Sabbath in particular, he was such a big Black Sabbath fan that it just changed
hilarious.
my life.
This guy is hilarious.
Sorry, he's killing me. I'm trying
so we're just paying homage to my cousin Peter, and the Rhino is an animal that, I don't know, it's a cool looking animal. It almost looks like a dinosaur, and at the same time, it's like this gentle animal that you got to be careful around. It's just picking our own mascot. We wanted to have somebody like Eddie without scaring the crap out of children, so we picked the Rhino.
Nice.
Very cool.
Yeah, he's got many uses. Good job. So what would you say to anybody getting into the business, or just into music in general? What would you say to them?
I would say, we were looking at a mini doc of Polyphia, the band Polyphia. And I would say, if you're getting into music now, understand today's landscape. Don't come at it with an old man's plan. Don't tell me you're going to jump in a van and try to rock and roll. Try to understand what the internet has to play in all of this, because obviously it plays a major role. And if you could get an understanding of it without spending a cash, you're on to something. Obviously, you're going to do shows and you're going to go on tour, but I think today, understand YouTube. Understand Instagram, understand TikTok. Don't hate it. It's part of the machine. Hate it or love it. Just like Spotify and Apple, it's all part of the machine. Just know that it is. Don't complain to me about your percentages and all of that. We're already past that argument. Musicians have been getting raped way before YouTube and Spotify have been taking their percentages. The labels weren't doing any better. So it's like, at the end of the day, understand the landscape, understand YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and all of these streaming services. Really understand them, because it's tricky.
We don't at all.
No, we don't. So we're still learning. We're still learning.
Nothing you see around here, none of this is paid by anything off of any platform.
No.
We don't understand, we understand.
We always turn to our sons.
Everything I do that you see on Instagram for my page, FIELDY to Stillwell, I do that for free.
Yeah.
I get paid zero. Nothing. I do it just for fans. That's it.
It's more about the exposure, yeah.
Right.
I get more off of my streams.
Content.
I get more off my streams, which is Starbucks money. So
you
it's
get a coffee,
basically we're buskers.
Right.
Respect that.
But it's easier with Instagram and all of the other streamings. And you don't have to leave the comfort of your neighborhood in order to get people's attention. Because that band Polyphia, what struck me was when they started, they made a firm decision to stop touring and to become internet sensations, and they accomplished it. So that says a lot. It's like, oh, okay, it's possible. But they do shows, but they set out, they understood. They were like, we got to conquer this YouTube thing, because this is where everybody really goes. It's this place here, YouTube. They did it.
That's where you guys are at.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Keep going.
Eventually you want to be in the TV too. I want to be on this platform, but I want to be in that TV I'm watching over there, the Food Network. I'll go on that right now. They call me up and say, hey, FIELDY, we want you on the Food Network. I'm like, you name the time, the day, the place, and I'll be there. Hey, Guy, where you want? Guy, call me up, see if I don't show up.
I want to beat Bobby Flay.
People are afraid to call me. Trust me, people are afraid to call me.
So in 20 years,
I'm not judging the guy, because that guy, to me, he's a star. That's a rock star. That guy has so many shows.
He's got 7 shows. Man.
He's an inspiration, and his son too. That's another father and son
team
that I watch all the time. I'm a huge fan. Like, he's probably like, for me, like, who's your favorite rock star?
The headline.
Guy.
FIELDY is a Guy Fieri fan.
Yeah. Headline right there. No, who's the biggest rock star to you?
Guy Fieri.
Like,
oh my God, that's great.
Just being honest, like right now, he's probably at the top for me.
FIELDY.
It's true.
Who's your biggest inspiration in life? Yeah, definitely Guy Fieri.
Biggest inspiration.
What else you got? Inspiration?
No, you didn't tell us, FIELDY. You didn't tell us what you would say to somebody trying to get into the business.
What would you tell somebody getting into business?
Oh, I would tell him, run. I would say, honestly, if somebody asked me, what do I got to do to get into the business? I'd say I would do something different, because if you're asking that question, you're in the wrong business.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I would just say, leave it at that. I'm really like a really short question answering guy. If this interview was just me, we would have been done like 20 minutes ago. You had all the information.
I apologize. I meant no disrespect.
Thank you, Q, for being here. Thank you.
Yeah, he's in a he's different.
West Side.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, too much metal for one hand.
I saw FIELDY at the Paramount in Huntington, New York, and he came out of his tour bus, and I was like, hey, FIELDY, and he walked right past me like I wasn't even there.
That's because I don't like I probably didn't hear you, because you know what? Honestly, like, I'll be in the zone.
Yeah.
And I talk to everybody.
Yeah, he's actually
and sometimes I don't hear people, and somebody will say, hey, they said, what's up to you? Or they were saying, hey, and I go, they did?
No, you darted right into the place.
I ignore him sometimes too.
You know what? I remember that, and I remember you were with me.
I've always been to the hunting.
Yeah, he was with me. I remember when I remember. Now I remember. I looked over. I was like, I just got off the phone with my daughter. Just was on her way to the hospital, and I was tripping out going through a divorce, and I was like, I just hung the phone up, and I was like trying to hold it together.
Never mind. Oh God, this is spinning so far out of control.
She ended up being okay, but then my other hospital too. This is a different time. My third.
Anyway,
That's so dark.
this is what I deal with a lot.
My son broke his leg, and I had to take him to the doctor all the time. But on the way there, I was stressed out, and somebody tried to say, "What's up?"
Way to answer the question in 2 minutes,
I
man.
was like, I can't, man. My son broke his leg, and he's crying next to me. I'm like, I can take a picture with you right now.
Quite the length of answer.
Well, all I was trying to say was get well. Tell him to get well.
Get well. That's good.
Oh wow, that's fucking hilarious. Excuse my language. Oh my god, that is hilarious. Yeah, so this has been amazing. This has absolutely amazing, and I yes, we
Harmony.
We
Come here, you guys want to say hi?
yes.
His daughter just walked in.
Oh, beautiful.
We're on. This is live, famous. Come here, it's green screen. Come here. Say hi to my daughter.
Half
Harmony.
a green screen.
Actually, show your shirt.
Oh yeah,
Come here.
Tell them who you are.
Hi, I'm Harmony's friend Caitlin.
See what she's wearing?
Stillwell. It's our favorite band.
This is my daughter Harmony right here.
Hello.
Hello.
She's here so much. She's kind of like my other daughter because they're always hanging out. They're like, kind of right.
Yes. Yeah.
Well,
Is that the word?
Do they know about the Nobodies reacts?
Yeah. Have they liked and subscribed?
We'll fill them in.
Okay.
Have they liked and subscribed?
Okay.
Nice
Hey
meeting
guys.
Nice meeting you.
Hey, your sandwich is right there when you get back. All right. You guys can split it. I mean, and you girls can split it. I get confused. I got the boys and the girls.
So
He gets confused about that.
how many children do you both have?
5, but they all got friends.
I got one. One and done.
They
One
all
and
got
done.
friends.
This
And
is
his
my
one
one.
has friends sometimes.
This is my one and done. He's actually named Jonathan after Jonathan Davis.
Okay.
All right. Huh?
I feel like it's after my uncle.
Yeah, so
Coming out, huh?
I'm going with
Throw the dad under the bus.
nope. I sticking with I named him after Jonathan Davis.
Okay.
My wife
I named
says
my son after me.
I named my son after me, kind of.
Right.
I mean, I didn't like my name really, but his middle name's still Reginald,
Right.
so it's still.
There you go. He still got that tag in there.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Little
Yep.
stamp.
that's his middle name. His middle name is my first name. I was like, I got to give him something after Jonathan Davis.
There you go.
See,
There you go.
I got mine. See, I got mine in there too.
So I actually I have a picture of Monkey, but at that time my friend was so drunk, he like fell over when he took the picture, and it's
Did
nothing
you
but
catch me?
one big blur streak.
Did you?
It's
catch
artsy. It's an artsy photo.
Yeah. Did I catch you? Yeah, you were walking away.
Like last time?
Yeah.
That time, it was my other daughter.
Oh no!
And
Please don't do it again.
her boyfriend just broke up with her.
Oh,
and she
God.
was like freaking out.
Wow.
And she's having a panic attack. So I had to.
So I'm gonna give us the last Stillwell thoughts.
Wait,
Yes.
what's the question?
Do you have any more questions before I?
don't know if we do.
No, that was all the
Okay.
questions. So please,
We're gonna close. We'll
So we're gonna close it with this.
yes,
First,
close it with that.
all right. So first, I'm gonna start with we've been definitely working a lot with our music and putting together these remixes. We got a new song coming out this Friday off the album, and we'll be following that with a remix. And it's pretty cool that you guys got at me to do this, because we'll sandwich your interview in there somewhere as well and post the links and all of that stuff. Aside from that, I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I know a lot of KORN fans want to know where he's at. I just want to say this for the record. He's okay. He's not on drugs. He's not on drugs. I'm saying this. He doesn't have to say shit.
I never even tried drugs, by the way. I'd always have
Right.
that. But I don't care about these comments. I'm just.
I know.
I'm
I
I respect that.
just wanted to, because you guys gave us a little bit of a platform. I don't read them all the time, but I see the comments, and as somebody, as best friends, you want to defend your friend, and I don't do it. I don't go online and do it, but because you guys were talking, I just want to say, the conspiracy theories about Fieldy, about him being on drugs or this or that. It's like, look, man, the guy's, he's been since the pandemic and since we've been working, he jumped into yoga. He's been cleaning up his diet. He's been taking care of his kids. He's been writing songs with me and Wov. So it's like all of these things that I see, and I know Wov sees them. It's like you don't want to argue. You don't want to argue with these people, but to set the record straight, and because you guys are providing a platform, I just want to say that he's okay, man. He's quirky, as you can see. He's my
homie right here. I'm gonna give a shout out to Sancho's Tacos. You guys got it. This is Tori. What's up, Tori?
What up, man?
What's the deal?
He's actually in our new video. He's actually in our new video.
See the shirt. Look at it. Has it got some in the back? Let me see.
Yeah, we got right here.
Look at it. Represent.
Go get your tacos from this guy, man.
Yeah. We don't care about Stillwell anymore. This is what we were doing.
That's way better.
Yeah, they're the real rock stars, man.
No, his dad and I were friends back in the day when he was just like, I think I could hold him.
Yeah,
you still hold him, but it'd be awkward.
No, I can't hold him, man. This dude, young man, he's swelled up.
Thank you. Good to see you, brother.
Yeah, but they end up with like starting with one from cooking tacos in my backyard to one restaurant down in Huntington to how many restaurants you got now?
8 now.
That's
wow.
And that's amazing to me. Like they came up and I'm
stick with it. See, stick with it.
Hey, you guys you're starting with it. I remember when they started in a backyard to one little small place in Huntington. Now they're like, it's amazing, man.
Yeah,
these guys, they're an amazing inspiration. And
Congratulations.
What area could we find you guys?
Huntington, California.
Making sure.
Yeah, come through. Right here in Orange County, South Orange County.
Yep. Yeah, check it out.
There's even one in Bakersfield.
All my kids love it. They got the dopest inside. Their restaurants are insane.
Yeah, it's like a theme, really cool theme spot. It's not your average taco spot. You go in and you're looking around and it's like really cool. Like they gave it that little extra oomph, which everything needs in the world, right? If you're gonna do something like this, as you guys grow, you're gonna add things to your set. It's gonna look like the Conan O'Brien show or something. The same thing with us. We kind of look at what we do and keep on adding to it, keep on building to it. So when we first started with Stillwell, we didn't have anything. Now we have a CD box that's custom made that no other band has ever done for their fan base. So
keep on going. Yeah. We got everything plugged. I got to get to the next interview.
All right.
I just want to know: is he Mexican?
They're Wedos.
We're Wedos for sure.
Yeah,
we got the Chicano heart though.
You know what? We're all from Bakersfield. Like his dad, me, we're Bakersfield guys.
Yeah,
but he came later.
yeah.
But he's Bakersfield at heart.
Yeah, we're white Mexicans right here for sure.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It's okay. You never guess. We're Puerto Ricans.
Yeah, we're white Puerto Ricans. So
I'm Puerto Rican Italian.
There we go.
All right. Thank you guys so very much. Let us do our outro, and we want you to be part of it. So please, Fieldy, give us 2 more seconds, please.
Sorry, man. Get ready. This part's fun. Everyone at home, remember to hit that like, subscribe button, and tell us down in the comments section below what songs we should listen to and who else you'd like to see on the channel. And press the next subscribe button to get notified every time we upload a video. Both of you guys, thank you so much for joining us. This has been so funny. A lot of fun stories. We've loved this.
A dream come true.
Absolutely a dream come true. I'm Son.
And I'm Father. And you are?
Stillwell,
Stillwell, Fieldy right here.
And Wub is in the restroom.
Nice. Rock on.
Peace out.